term open source refers to something people can modify and share because its design is publicly accessible. The term originated in the context of software development to designate a specific approach to creating computer programs. Training. Other people like open source software because it helps them become better programmers. Because open source code is publicly accessible, students can easily study it as they learn to make better software. Students can also share their work with others, inviting comment and critique, as they develop their skills. When people discover mistakes in program source code, they can share those mistakes with others to help them avoid making those same mistakes themselves. Security. Some people prefer open source software because they consider it more secure and stable than proprietary software. Because anyone can view and modify open source software, someone might spot and correct errors or omissions that a program's original authors might have missed. And because so many programmers can work on a piece of open source software without asking for permission from original authors, they can fix, update, and upgrade open source software more quickly than they can proprietary software. Stability. Many users prefer open source software to proprietary software for important, long-term projects. Because programmers publicly distribute the source code for open source software, users relying on that software for critical tasks can be sure their tools won't disappear or fall into disrepair if their original creators stop working on them. Additionally, open source software tends to both incorporate and operate according to open standards. Community. Open source software often inspires a community of users and developers to form around it. That's not unique to open source. Many popular applications are the subject of meetups and user groups. But in the case of open source, the community isn't just a fan base that buys in, emotionally or financially, to an elite user group. It's the people who produce, test, use, promote, and ultimately affect the software they love. Doesn't open source just mean something is free of charge? No. This is a common misconception about what open source implies, and the concept's implications are not only economic. Open source software programmers can charge money for the open source software they create or to which they contribute. But in some cases, because an open source license might require them to release their source code when they sell software to others, some programmers find that charging users money for software services and support, rather than for the software itself, is more lucrative. This way, their software remains free of charge, and they make money helping others install, use, and troubleshoot it. While some open source software may be free of charge, skill in programming and troubleshooting open source software can be quite valuable. Many employers specifically seek to hire programmers with experience working on open source software. What is open source beyond software? Approaching all aspects of life the open source way means expressing a willingness to share, collaborating with others in ways that are transparent, so that others can watch and join too. Embracing failure as a means of improving, and expecting, even encouraging, everyone else to do the same. It also means committing to playing an active role in improving the world, which is possible only when everyone has access to the way that world is designed. The world is full of source code blueprints, recipes, rules, that guide and shape the way we think and act in it. We believe this underlying code, whatever its form, should be open, accessible, and shared, so many people can have a hand in altering it for the better. Here, we tell stories about the impact of open source values on all areas of life: science, education, government, manufacturing, health, law, and organizational dynamics. We're a community committed to telling others how the open source way is the best way, because a love of open source is just like anything else, it's better when it's shared.